拖延症，我就是 will，那个 calculate assignments，which will， 对 calculate assignments， 他不是中午12点下，我们10点钟来这儿，还没开始，当然是下2个小时。
Hi everyone, I know this is on Zoom, on YouTube already, but we will just still wait for 2 more minutes and we'll get started. Thank you for waiting. This is the camera.
Panic. It's over.
Yeah, it's
It's just another interview.
Yeah, it's not
No, you had too much interview this year already.
way too.
Last year. My interview so last year.
I had interviewed this year. Pain.
Okay, just now you mean the Imperial College one? When was it?
It was like I think February 13th. So one day before Valentine's.
Oh, okay.
I can remember the date so clearly.
How long was it?
It was like a 1 hour chat, and that ruined my day.
Wait, is it just 1-to-1, you and another person?
Yeah, me and a professor from school.
Oh.
From the university, and yeah, got roasted.
All the questions, was it like subject-based or your behavioral?
Subject-based, okay. Heavily subject-based. So they basically ask you about or also your personal statements. But then there's because I had an interview with chemical engineering, so they asked me a lot about chemistry.
We can talk about it in this conversation. Okay, yeah. So I think we can get started. Right. Okay, still 1 minute to go, but we can just get started because it's already on live in Zoom. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to join this conversation with me, Emma. I'm the VCE coordinator here, and with Eric, Tim. Hi, everyone. So both Eric and Tim, they work in QS as tutors. So with a VCE mathematics, specialist math, chemistry, and also some physics help here. They also are the host of VCE Study Hub. That is a free homework help session every Tuesday night, 6:30 to 8:30. And they are both graduates from Melbourne High School. So that's why we're hosting another Melbourne High VCE Study Group from this term. And they will be the main host of that small group. So welcome joining us tonight. And tonight we'll just chat about life, their VCE journeys, also their they can give you some tips on studies, as well as some questions we gathered from you guys. And in the meantime, if you have any more questions, please put it in the Q&A section under the Zoom, one of the button, and we will get back to your questions at the end, maybe 10 minutes of our session. So this is 7 to 8. So just feel free to ask us anything if you come up with any. Yes, so let's get started. Good evening, both. How are you today?
I'm good. I've had a very good day at uni.
Yeah. Uni. You have how many hours of class today?
I had 4 hours. But I only attended 3 because 1 was a lecture.
So you don't go to lecture for uni?
I only go to the useful lectures.
Okay.
That's one good thing about going to uni already.
Right. So will you watch the recording then?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. How about you, Tim? How are you?
I had a great day by chilling at home. I didn't go to uni today.
You don't have today as your...
It's because I only have a lecture at 9 a.m. in the morning and I couldn't wake up. So
so
that's also a good thing about uni because lectures you can just chill at home. So.
Nice.
Well, obviously I'll go watch the recordings.
Right. Happy that both of you are happy and chill today. So maybe give us more introduction of yourself. Start from Eric. Can you tell us about what VCE subjects you did and your hobbies and anything you wanna tell us?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Eric. So I was a graduate from Melbourne High School from last year. I took the subjects of English mainstream, math methods specialist, chemistry, Chinese second language advanced in 2022, and also history revolutions. I ended up with an ATAR of 99.45, and now I'm studying Bachelor of Science at Uni Melb. So for my hobbies, I used to run a YouTube channel and wrote alternate history fan fiction on there. But now basically what my main hobbies are reading novels and playing table tennis. And I also recently picked up badminton. So those are some sports I really recommend.
Oh, what's your YouTube channel's name if you don't mind sharing?
That is classified.
Oh, okay.
I haven't uploaded in a year now.
Oh, but that's still
because year 12 happened.
All right. You must learn a lot from doing YouTube as well, right?
Just how to over exaggerate my reactions.
Oh, okay. So you should be really good at this.
I hope so.
Yeah. How about you, Tim? What's your
Hi everyone, my name is Tim. I'm a MHS graduate from last year. And okay, VCE subjects. So I did methods, spec, physics, chemistry, English mainstream, and Unimaths in year 12. And I also took Chinese in year 11. So I did 6 in year 12 and I did 7 subjects.
Wow.
Yeah. And in terms of hobbies, as you can see, I'm a bit of an introvert. So I like to watch anime and I play video games as well. Yeah.
Right, right. I know you two are very good friends since year 10, year 11. And how about you introduce each other for us? So Eric, what's like Tim's what can you tell us more about Tim?
All right. So I met Tim when I was in year 10 and when I was attending QS school, Math Methods 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I was very bad at the subject at the time.
Really?
I was at my lowest state and I pretty much failed every single test. But I met Tim in that class and he basically carried me throughout my high school years and all of my STEM-based subjects. And then, yeah, I can confidently say that I would not be where I am right now without Tim.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very happy that Eric said that before.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're very good friends and well, not in terms of study and also like day-to-day life as well.
Yeah.
Like we also play, we would always go out to play badminton or something. We do sports, we go to events together. And we have a plan of going to watch the English Sunset Boulevard movie.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, basically, one of our English texts last year was the movie Sunset Boulevard, which the movie made in 1950.
Right.
So it's older than my grandparents. But you know, recently there's a play going on in the city, so we decided we're gonna have some nostalgia from last year. I'm gonna go watch the play.
Wow, sounds really nice. I think this year's Sunset Boulevard is also Melbourne Highest textbook for
probably.
Yeah. So yeah.
And as you can tell, Eric has some pretty interesting hobbies. Such as watching Sunset Boulevard again.
So you agreed to go out with?
Well, yeah, since we're friends, I'm sure that's nostalgia. So we can catch up with that. And I think Eric's a very big tryhard in terms of studying. He actually worked a lot and tried his best for like the entire year 11, year 12. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very good, nice words to each other. And Tim, you're also studying Bachelor of Science in Melbourne?
Yes, I am studying Bachelor of Science, majoring in mathematical physics. So typical nerd subject. Yeah.
What's the cohorts like? Is it like mainly boys?
You can't really tell the cohort because like even though you might be studying the same major, you won't be like put in the same class with people doing the same major. It's just that people who are doing the same subject, you can see them. But in terms of my subject, since I did UMAP last year, so I can take a year 2 math subject this year. And in that cohort, like mainly most people just like boys. And yeah, there weren't that many people doing year 2 maths because I guess it's not compulsory for a lot of students.
Yeah, so Tim did say that in his year 12, he did another university math. That's why he can go straight to year 12 mathematics in University of Melbourne. So yeah, we can talk more about the UniMath later, but now we just want to know more about your your subject. So Tim is majoring in mathematical physics or something. What's your major, Eric?
I'm majoring in data science.
Data science, or like more like computer science.
Yeah, for now.
Oh, for now.
Yeah.
So, right. What are the subjects you're doing now? What's your favorite and least favorite?
Well, I can tell you my least favorite immediately. It's a compulsory subject.
Yeah.
It's called Today's Science, Tomorrow's World.
Is it like essay based?
No, it's more a it's more a subject that teaches you about politically correct science.
Oh, so you're not a fan of
So you got to learn about climate change, freedom of speech, the Paris Agreement, everything.
Oh.
But I'm not really a fan of it, I have to be honest.
But I think you also like history and reading novels, so you should be able to.
Well, I've tried to make some of the topics in there as political as I can.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, it's not a subject that I really enjoy. I think my favorite subject so far is calculus 2.
Maths.
Yeah, maths.
So you're still more math and science student rather than history and stuff. Although you did history in your as your VCE.
Yes.
Okay. Right. How about you, Tim? Is university year 2 maths your favorite?
Yeah, pretty much my favorite. I mean, I love doing vector calculus advanced, aka open book calculus. Oh, that's probably a joke that only the inside people knows, but
yeah, I don't know.
It's a pretty cool subject because you get to investigate all of like the proofs around calculus, and we, instead of doing just basic like y and x, you have a lot of higher dimensions and do calculus with that. So it's pretty cool. And then my least favorite stuff.
I don't understand the word, but it's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah, as long as maybe some mathematicians out there in Melbourne High students, you know what Tim is talking about. So yeah, that's good. So you guys don't do the same subjects, right? Although you're both studying Bachelor of Science.
Well, we do Today's Science, Tomorrow's World.
Oh, that's the compulsory for Bachelor of Science.
And that's also my least favorite.
Okay.
Because of the same reason.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're more like you like doing the challenging real math questions in science. I see. Thank you. And let's moving to your Melbourne High school life. So Kingsley from year 8 asked, how did you pass the exam and get into Melbourne High successfully? Do you recall any of that entrance tests memory? So can you share with us?
I do.
Yeah.
So I remember very vividly what the writing essay topic was.
Yeah.
It was that I met an old lady in a shop in a place far away, and we needed to write a narrative. But I think the area where it was more of an experience for me was actually after the test.
Right.
So I didn't immediately get into MHS. I got what's called a principal's discretion letter.
Ooh.
So basically, I was just underneath the line that was acceptable for MHS, but they would say that what I would do is I first need to write like a resume to them to demonstrate some of my skills, and then I would have to attend a leadership demonstration meeting with them to be able to earn their approval to finally get let into MHS. So what I did is I printed out the form. I took about 2 days off from my current school at the time, Haileybury. Yeah. And then I just stayed home. I wrote in the most beautiful handwriting ever, the most crafted essay. I sent it up. I got no reply for about 3 days. And then the next day I got an email saying they've just accepted me because some other people who got into that school decided to quit their spots. Okay, so you're kind of lucky, but you did also put a lot of effort in writing that handwritten letter. So if any of you guys are trying out for MHS, do not panic if something like this happens to you. Right, thank you. Tim, how about you? What's your journey?
I had a pretty similar journey to Eric, so I also didn't get in first round. Okay. But the thing with the principal's discrepancy, that one, so I didn't even get to send out my material, and then I got an email said I got a place after like second round offer pretty quickly. So okay. Yeah. And then I think in terms of how to pass the exam, I think you need to just do a lot more practice. Yeah. 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 I mean, come to QS. I think
Yeah.
QS has like trust. This is not just an ad. I think that was actually pretty helpful. So they have MHS like trial exam classes, and they provide a lot of resource and practice for you. And I think that really gets you used to the style of questions you get. And yeah,
Yeah,
practice
I
makes
think
perfect.
it's called level 9 trial test, right? The
Yeah,
course.
something like that.
Yeah, if you're interested, please contact us. And do you remember? So you were in year 9 when you first came to Melbourne High, right? What's the experience like? Did you meet a lot of friends? How was? Yeah.
We really did not, to be honest,
Really?
because we entered Melbourne High when it was 2020.
Oh,
So we all know what happened in 2020.
yeah.
We entered the school around early February
Right.
and basically got shut down mid-March.
Mm.
But
that's
throughout the year, we had very different experiences.
Yeah.
So what I basically did, because Melbourne High, it has a lot of emphasis on self-study and integrity, and that wasn't something I had a lot of
Okay.
at the time. So what happened was I kind of almost wasted my year 9. I didn't really study anything for about 8 months.
Yeah.
So that was actually a time when I really fell behind. So make sure, do not do what I did. If I didn't meet Tim, that would have been the end of me.
But it's not completely your fault though. If we had the lockdown, we don't know what happened.
Well, well, some people were able to make better use of it.
Honestly, no. I have to be honest here. During my year 9, year 10 online classes, I could have participated a little bit more into the class instead of playing games all the time, which is not very desirable, obviously. And or I'm lucky because in year 9, my first week of year 9 was a camp. So we went on camp with my other friends, and that was before COVID hit. So, well, not friends, classmates at the time, and we made a lot of good friendship at the point. So I think that was pretty good. And then we went into lockdown, which is not so good.
Yeah.
And yeah, to be honest, I also kind of paused studying during the 2 years of lockdown. But like I have a personal interest of like doing maths.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why my math didn't fall behind, and hence didn't do so bad in year 11, year 12.
Why do you like maths? Are you good at maths since you were really young or something?
I don't know if I can call myself good. Like if you talk about like competition wise, like I never got any good competition results. But like just maths in school and like in general, I just enjoy doing this subject. Yeah, I just think thinking about all these math proofs, logics, and then doing all the calculations is somewhat fun to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you have a passion in a subject, you can be as good as possible. And right, what extracurricular did you do in your Melbourne High year?
Well, I did quite a lot of extracurriculars after lockdown ended.
Yeah, that was
So-
in your year 10.
In year 11 and
Okay.
year 12.
Okay.
So I was quite heavily into the music program at Melbourne High School. So the instrument that I play is, well, that I mainly play for extracurriculars is viola.
Okay.
Any of you cellists out there, do not bully me. So what I did was I played in the Melbourne High Symphony Orchestra. I also played in the string camerata and string ensemble, which is the higher and lower end of string ensemble. And I also, my primary instrument is piano, and I was an accompaniment, or I was an accompanist for Melbourne High chorals when I was in year 12.
Wow.
So I was really heavily into the music side of extracurriculars.
Right. How many hours per week do you spend? About 3?
I would say more than 3. It was like probably 5.
5 hours per week.
Yeah, 1.5 hours on Tuesday, about 1.5 hours on Thursday morning, and then like another hour Monday lunchtime.
What were your parents' opinion of that?
Oh, my parents were very encouraging of me.
Yeah.
They think it's a really good breather from all the heavy studying,
Yeah.
but they were just mad at that I wouldn't be able to eat lunch in Monday lunchtimes.
Oh, I see. But do you find participating in all the music stuff help you or busy learning or?
Well, to be honest, I can't really tell. It's not a control test, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah. it's still very good to keep yourself happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
do what
made
you
a
like.
lot of good friends there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to socialize at a more of a study-based school. That's music's a good way to socialize.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Tim? Any maths club you
Well,
joined?
okay, so obviously I did participate in math club in year 11, year 12. I didn't actually join that before, and I played clarinet and saxophone, and I joined two of the bands in school for year 9 and year 10, and then I quit it because of VC.
Oh,
And I also played basketball, but that was outside of school.
right. Yeah. What was the maths club like? Like how many subjects club are there in Melbourne High? Is it?
I think there's quite a lot, including like things like economics and well, somewhat subject based like physics, astronomy clubs, things like that.
Yeah.
Rather than saying they're like clubs, they're more like just like a study interest group.
Okay.
So like they give you out like maths related questions, and then we just sit in a room together and do maths for fun.
Oh, is
That
it
was
like
like
1 hour per week?
It's like during our lunchtime.
Oh, during the lunchtime.
Yeah.
But I really do recommend the Maths Extension group.
Okay.
It is somewhat more sophisticated than the other groups. You get to go on a lot of competitions.
Okay, Max.
And that are like organized by the school. So we went on 2 competitions in year 12, and I think that was a really good eye opener for us. And I also met a lot of other familiar friends at these competitions.
Right. So maths club and maths extension.
Oh, they're the same thing. They're the same thing.
thing.
You just said the wrong name.
Okay.
But it's basically like a math club.
Okay. So it's from year 9 you can join that, or only to
from year 9.
From year 9.
Okay. Yeah. So good information. If you are interested, definitely check that out. Let's moving on to choosing your VCE subjects during year 10. So many of our audience ask, what's the most sensible way of choosing these subjects? How did you make your decision? And also, a person asked which maths I need to choose if my maths results around mid-level. Yeah. Eric, you?
From me? Well, I think we should go from the more sensible person to the less sensible person.
I think so. Yeah.
So the way I chose my VC subjects was that I immediately decided what's going to be in my top 4 and what's going to be in my bottom 2. Because if any of you guys don't know how VC works, 4 of your best subjects gets used 100% into your final result, and only 10% of your 2 less well subjects get used into your final result. So essentially, for every 10 marks that you get in your bottom 2, it's only equivalent of 1 mark in the top 4. So what I chose was 4 top 4 subject that scales really well, that I know I can do pretty well at, which is English is a compulsory. That's unavoidable, but I chose method, specialist, Chinese. So all good scaling subjects, and I was moderately confident that I can do well in. And then I chose chemistry and history. Chemistry because it opens me up to a lot of other pathways. I could try going for medicine or some other maybe degrees that require chemistry. And in terms of history, it's because I have an interest in history, and I know that it's a subject that I can get at least raw 30 in, no matter how little studying I do. So it's really just a filler subject that I chose that gets me the free 3 marks. And I think it really paid off in the end. And in terms of if your maths is around mid-well level in year 10, I reckon just go for specialist maths. Like, when I was in year 10, my maths was really bad. The advice that my maths teacher gave me was that I can definitely pick general maths, but I should carefully consider if I do maths methods or not. And I'm not trying to brag, but look where I am now today. So
can you tell us what your score?
So I end up with 45 in methods and 43 in specialists, which is definitely better than what you'll get if you pick general maths. So if you're around mid-well level, definitely go for specialist maths.
Okay, that's from Eric. Do you have anything? Okay.
Okay, the less sensible person, not joking. So I have a different approach to Eric because I think if you want to do well in a subject, I think you should have interest to it. So I picked all the subjects that I have interest in. So except English, which is compulsory.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think because I really like math, so I did methods in spec, and obviously I chose uni maths when I had the opportunity, and then physics and chemistry was just because I like science in general.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then which maths around middle well level?
What's your opinion?
I would say go for spec.
Okay.
Why not? Because I mean, first of all, spec scales a lot. So like even if you get
Says the person who just said you should pick the subjects you like.
well,
let's have a debate.
well,
yeah, keep going.
Like, and also I think spec is a very interesting subject. I think all the topics in there are very fun, and it helps you like get closer to a level of maths that you do in uni. And so it's very good. Like it's like a good transfer from high school maths to a uni level maths.
Yeah, thank you. Very good, valuable tips from both of you. So Tim kind of emphasis on the interest side, and Eric was very clear on explaining how the scaling up and everything works in the VCE system. Also, he mentioned that if you choose chemistry, it opens up many of your options. You can do medicine, you can do other science-based subjects. So that's why a lot of students choose mathematics and chemistry as their one or two of their VCE subjects. Also, so this question is more like Melbourne High based. So David asked, year 12 and year 12 and year 11 doing a sixth subject and its impact on workload. Apparently, you're only allowed to do 5 in Melbourne High year 12. Is that correct?
That's true.
Yeah. So any tips for David? I think Tim already touched upon the university maths bit. Maybe we can start with Tim.
Okay, so I'll elaborate a little bit more. Yeah. So you're allowed to choose. You're allowed to apply to CHES, which is like a what should I call it?
A studying institute.
Yeah, a studying institute like right next to Melbourne High, and they can allow you to choose uni level subjects, including like physics, and they also provide algo and obviously uni maths. So that's an option that you can pick like outside of your 5 VC subjects, and as long as you can show it to your I think the coordinators at Melbourne High, they will allow you to take that along with your 5 VC subjects.
Right. Yeah. You have to ask their permission and then do
You do have to ask for their permission, but they will usually allow you if you have a relatively good score.
Okay.
But that is based on year 11 score.
Right, that's very important. You have to work hard in your year 11 to get the 6 VC subjects in year 12. Eric, what's your opinion of those questions?
Well, I'll touch more on the doing a 6th subject in year 11.
Yeah.
Because so me and Tim, we both did a Chinese SLA when we were in year 11. So we're doing 6 subjects. And I got to say, I think the workload that you have in year 11 really does depend on what subject you take.
Right.
If you're doing a language, especially Chinese, it's a really competitive subject like us, you're going to have a ton of workload. And to an extent, your other 5 unit 1, 2 subjects are going to be squeezed out by your unit 3, 4. That's what happened to me. About, I would say 80% of my time studying was used on my unit 3 and 4 in year 11. So it's really intensive. But if you're doing a subject that is provided by Melbourne High itself, that could be biology, it could be psychology, it could be music,
accounting,
economics, software development. Those subjects are usually a lot less effort intensive, and also it depends on whether you want that subject in year 11 to be really high of a score. I know a lot of students, they don't actually expect the year 11 subject to get a high score. It's just part of their volunteer to get out early, in which case you're actually not going to need to put in a ton of efforts. So it really does depend what subject you take.
Yeah, about the work. Anything to add on?
I just want to add on something.
Yeah.
although most people say that in Melbourne High that you're not allowed to take methods in year 11, like method 3.11, there is this opportunity. You go talk to the math department, and I think they will give you some sort of I think the methods 1 to methods 3.4 paper. And if you get a good enough result, they may give you exemption and let you take methods in 3.4 in year 11. And I think for people who are relatively talented in maths, I think this is a opportunity that you would not want to miss out.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
because I think taking methods isn't that much of an effort. Well, at least I guess that was like pretty
from Tim.
That was like from me. But like, I think methods was pretty chill. So I think taking methods in 11 and get it out of the way is a pretty good idea. And also in year 11, you have more time to do your 3.4 because the others are 1, 2, so you can put relatively less effort onto them. So, and if you can get a very good score for your 3.4 in year 11, that can be put into your top 4, then it really reduces your pressure in year 12, because then that means you only have 3 top 4s to worry about.
Yeah, that's very important. Also, if you are as intelligent as Tim, just do it. Ask your coordinator for permission of doing a mathematics subject in year 11. And yeah, both of you did really well for VCE. You got high ATARs. Any tips of that? Any study advice or you've been through in your VCE and anything? Just share with us, please.
Eric, you can go.
Okay.
I'll begin. So I think so I'm not as talented in STEM subjects as Tim, but I think what I would do is Melbourne High students, especially, Melbourne High is really, really sophisticated and sort of an expert school at maths and science subjects, but not really at English. So I realized how English would be a drawback to my score. So what I really did in year 12, I just fully studied on English. I grinded really hard on English because I know it was my weakest subject. So that's how, even though I know eventually my English score is going to be a lot lower than, say, my math scores, I still kept trying at it. So I ended up with like a semi-decent score in English, but just that combined with my pre-planned top 4, which was methods, specialist, and then Chinese. Just the top 4 really got me to really good spots to get an ATAR above 99. And then my bottom 2s, they were pretty low, but they didn't really need to be high anyway. So that's my advice. Really focus on your English and also focus on your top 4. If you need to, just abandon your bottom 2.
That's very strategic.
So yeah, Eric's side is very strategic. So I took a completely different approach because I didn't enjoy English. So I didn't put in that much effort into English in year 12. And that obviously got me because my
Did
ATAR...
you regret it?
I don't really regret it because, to be honest here, I don't think ATAR is that useful.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But like I feel
that's very true. Like,
well, that's like depend. Different people have different opinions. But like I personally don't think ATAR is like that important. But obviously, if you get a high ATAR, that's good. And if I say advice, I think I enjoy, because I really enjoy studying the subjects that I chose. So I just putting effort into them. And then like all of my subjects except for English, even all the I got a pretty high score.
Yeah, share with us what. So Tim obviously got a 50.
I got a 15 in methods, 46 in spec, 45 in physics, 43 in chemistry, a 37 in Chinese, and a 4.5 for uni maths, which is like because bottom 2, so it has to be it's like a 45.
Yeah, that's so impressive. Thank you for sharing. So what motivate you, Eric, for studying that hard for English? What was your like mindset during your VCE?
Well, at the time, actually, I was tempted to try for the medicine course for Monash.
Yeah.
So, and they have a requirement for ATAR, which was very vague. So they said it was 33% part of ATAR. So my thought process at the time was, the higher that I got for my ATAR, the more likely the chance I have to make it in. So obviously I had to maximize my ATAR, so I have to maximize my English score.
Yeah, right. So are there a lot of people who want to medicine in Melbourne High?
Oh, definitely.
Is that
it's pretty much
trend, like
it's pretty much romanticized at
Right.
Melbourne High.
Yeah.
So I eventually didn't get in because of my interview.
Right.
But there are definitely people who, well, a lot of people who get in because of good interview, but also
Good. You
good
had
ATAR.
good ATAR.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also did very.
It's a combination of all three.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What-
And
any-
my motivation of study, well, first of all, I enjoy all the subjects I choose, so
Yeah.
I would actively study myself by
Yeah.
myself. But also, I kind of realized that my scores were pretty good in general in year 11. So I set myself a higher goal. So
Right.
I was hoping to get into Oxford.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I had that plan in mind, and then I started preparing for it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was why I studied really hard in year 11, year 12.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
sadly, the dream didn't come true.
What course did you apply for Oxford?
I tried for engineering.
Engineering. Why not mathematics?
Oh,
Pure math.
Yeah.
because I thought pure mathematics was pretty competitive, and also I really enjoyed doing physics.
Oh,
So
okay.
like that's why I chose mathematical physics. It's like a
Yeah.
combination of both subjects.
Mm.
And well, I did all of the entrance exams, prepared for everything, but sadly, I think I liked competition and research experience, so that was why I didn't get the offer.
Yeah. I think it's all good. It's all about journey, right? It's
Yeah.
all.
But the journey along the way was definitely very enjoyable, and I think I gained a lot from it.
Yeah. So, if any of you are interested in how to get into, like the process of applying to UK universities, you can definitely come and ask him if you're willing to share. Can you share like some key stages that you need to do if you want to study in Oxford, for example?
So if you apply to UK, you have to go on a website called UCAS, and then on there you can pick a total of 5 courses from different unis and different subjects in UK.
Yeah.
And for Oxford, you can only pick one of the uni and pick one course. So you can. So if I did Oxford engineering, then that's the only course I can pick from Oxford and Cambridge.
Yeah.
And then you can
It's
pick
either Oxford or Cambridge.
yeah, and only one course. That's for the undergraduate. It's different for graduate students. Yeah. And you can also pick 4 other courses from different unis in UK, or it can be same institute as well.
Yeah.
And some of the key stages would be preparing for personal statement and taking an entry exam, depending on if you have an entrance exam for the subject. And then I think for people like who grew up in Australia and have like Australian citizenship, then you don't have to worry about language.
Yeah.
But then there's also language requirement for other people.
Yeah.
And if you can get past the first stage, then you get an interview and you talk to some professors. They will ask you questions specific to the course you applied and have like practical questions like maths and physics question asked on the spot for you to answer. Yes.
Right. Can you use your year 11 results to apply your grades to apply for that, or do you need to take extra exam?
Oh, so you can use ATAR to apply, and
Okay.
they do accept ATAR, and as well as well, they mainly focus on A level and IB works as well. But it's best if you have a look at A level, because during the interview, the most questions asked were based on A level courses.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Some of you, if you want to do university,
And yes, and if you're interested, go on the website and check the Oxford page to see what requirements you need for specific subjects. So they have a lower requirement for ATAR. I think for Oxford it's 99 plus. But for
lower.
Okay, my bad.
Okay.
But like
rephrase it. No.
Because like if you think about Oxford, those sort of institute, you expect higher ATAR requirements than like.
But ATAR 99 is already really high.
But the more scary requirements that they actually require raw 45 in methods, spec and physics. I think, for example, like engineering. So they have very high requirements for the
specific for the subject.
Very specific.
Wow. So aim for study score 45 for methods, physics, and stuff like that. That's really, really crazy. Okay. I think we are going to our next session is about Melbourne High VCE Study Group. So from this term, you guys are hosting this program, and until now, we have already 4 events going, right? Can you talk what are the things you did so far?
So the first thing we did was a run through of the physics SAC 1, which was motion. And
maybe let's say why do we have this, and like who is it for, and things like that.
Yeah, so basically this whole event is designed to help Melbourne High students to better be able to prepare for the SACs, especially the SACs in year 12. So Melbourne High, they have very eccentric SACs that very unique teachers like to write. And these SACs, they are less similar to tests, but they're more similar to actually university assignments and investigations.
Right.
And if you're unprepared or unfamiliar with this material, and chances are people who are not prepared or not specially prepared will be. And because none of the study materials that VCE provides is really designed to help you with this university-styled investigation. So the reason we host this event is to help more Melbourne High students familiarize themselves with this sort of question and these sort of SACs that Melbourne High teachers like to write, so that they don't get caught off guard like how I kind of did in SAC 1.
Yeah, you don't want your juniors to repeat your mistake or things. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, so Eric said most of the stuff, but I do want to say like MHS SACs are pretty weird. So like since that me and Eric have experienced in those sort of SACs, I think we can provide a more like thorough help. And then like because we're used to the style of questions they get asked, so I think we can definitely help them a lot, and hopefully help them get a higher SAC score.
That's very kind of you too, and you guys. Eric.
Here I would also like to say one thing. Tim is the rank 1 in specialist SACs last year, so you're not going to get better than this in terms of how well you do Melbourne High specialist SACs. So if you aim for number 1 in specialist maths in Melbourne High, this is who you aim for.
Come to and say hi to Tim. And we're so glad that we're having two of very intelligent and kind Melbourne High graduates here. And just give help to your junior students. That's very nice. Let's talk about what was included in the study group so far. You did mention that you had a physics SAC help, and what else?
Well, afterwards we also will Tim hosted and I co-hosted a help for the specialist maths SAC 1. So that will be an investigation that was either on vectors or complex numbers. It was on complex numbers last year. So there is a chance that it is going to be vectors this year. So what Tim mainly did was throughout that session, he taught the students the mindset that you need to use when you're doing an investigation task.
Right.
And he did a lot of example questions and also gave some students some worksheets. And so we definitely provide a lot of resource, including the questions that we got from last year. So we really hope that people can get familiar with the style of questions asked. And then also, I think with the maths investigation SACs, I really talked a lot about mindset, because this is something different to what we usually do in maths, the investigation SACs.
Okay.
And and then we also have a chemistry workshop upcoming. I think that's next Monday. And then
25th.
Yes.
Right.
And then we will also help out by, I think, because Melbourne High do a lot of SACs based on the experiments they did beforehand. So we will try to help out with that. And I heard that this year they also included media analysis. So, and we also got a lot of resources on that, and we will help you guys prepare for the SAC.
So I think we have quite a lot of year 10, year 11 students. They might not know what investigation is. Can you just explain more about what investigation versus a exam paper, for example?
Because exam papers, you're given a question, your answer, and there's a correct answer to it. Investigation SACs are basically they give you questions that are open-ended. For example, like explain a property of like some sort of graph, like x to the power of n, where n is a real number or something like that.
Okay.
And then you have to draw out graphs and describe the graph with words, and then describe the trends. Things are similar, things are different. So these are very open-ended, and it really challenges your maths thinking mind. So
like analytical.
like the analytical thinking, like but specific to maths. So I think if you don't prepare, well, and then we can help you prepare for like these sort of mindsets, like what sort of things you should look out for when you do these sort of investigation type questions, and then help you think about like the analytical ways of like when I see this graph, what should I look out for and what should I talk about?
Yeah, that sounds a lot like university task, right? You have to do independent research and you write your own thought processes, stuff like that. So that's very helpful because you are both studying in uni now and you can combine what other skills required for uni to investigation, and I think you can really effectively help those students. So that's very good. Yeah, so if a student wants to join the group, how would it do that? How will they contact you?
So there are posters all of our Discord server which contain QR codes and also links that they will be able to find to join our MHS study group. It's free for all Melbourne High students. You don't have to be enrolled in QS. As long as you're an MHS student, you can join. So bring your friends, bring any of your study buddies, bring your enemies if you want to. Everyone who's from MHS is welcome.
And I think the poster is also posted on WeChat and I think Redbook as well. I'm not
wrong. 小红书. Maybe no, because 小红书doesn't allow us to post QR codes.
Oh, that's sad.
So yeah, it's okay. So if you want to join, you can. I can type something in the chat. So or I can just share the. Oh my God, who's that? Where's the invitation link? Invite people and
copy.
Yeah, copy. So I can just put
to everyone.
Okay, to everyone.
Post them. Wait.
Is this to everyone?
Maybe.
Oh no.
Or maybe I can paste here and then Freda or Lexi can share this link to other people, or I can put it in the maybe not.
Maybe.
Okay, so yeah, feel free to join and chat with find Eric and Tim in the Discord and then ask them questions and join our events. We're having chemistry Sec 1 health. Yeah, right. Coming on Monday. What's the topic?
I think it will be a combination of media analysis and the SAC prac and the pre-lab questions.
Yeah, pre-lab questions. Good. I think we have 5 more minutes before we're going to the Q&A. So for our audience, if you want to ask anything, feel free to type your question in the Q&A section in Zoom, and then we will start answering them from 7:50. Right. Okay, I can see someone joined the Discord group chat already. That's good. Yeah, let's move on to the final bit of our conversation. What are some potential career paths, career ideas? We start with Eric.
It's a little bit early for me right now. Of course, it's early days.
Yes.
But I think what I could potentially look to work in is, well, obviously becoming a data scientist. But I could also become a data analyst.
Yeah.
And I sort of in the current conditions, obviously it's not the best conditions to find jobs. So I was thinking maybe I could try applying to work for the government because that's a very stable job for me.
Yeah.
I think stability is definitely the thing I sought after the most.
Yeah. You want work-life balance.
Yeah.
I agree. How about you, Tim?
So
PhD.
Yeah, I am looking for a PhD. So I was hoping to go for the academia.
Oh.
So
that suits you, I think.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing math and physics, so that might be the way I'm gonna do it. And then, well, if I don't end up doing so, I will probably do something related to quantum computing.
Wow.
I think, these are the main career paths.
Scientist stuff.
Yes, I hope I can actually be named as a scientist and remembered, but like
You will.
the chances are pretty low, and I might change career pathway midway.
No, we will be proud of you in 10 years, Tim Lay. Yes, that's really nice.
And I remember one of your dreams was that you have a maths theorem named after you.
Ah, yes. that was
okay.
that was a dream. I doubt it can come true, but I mean that does actually come out really happy.
We have faith in you.
And I actually give myself another career path I could pick. So I'm doing accounting right now as a prep.
Okay.
So if things don't end up as planned, I might go
investment banking.
commerce pathway, investment banking.
Okay.
So that's a good part about Melbourne Uni. So you get your careers pathway open.
Yeah.
Because you get to pick your breadths during your bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
So that might help, like, because you may still be unsure, like, what do you actually want to do? What do you actually enjoy, like, even like up to our age?
Yeah.
So doing breadths
so
and explore different things really helps you out. And
yeah, definitely. You're only in year one university. You have a long way to go, and you might change your mind. But it's good to have some like early stage thoughts about that. So that's nice. We can see some questions coming in. We will just start answering them. You can still put in your questions here. Which subjects contribute to a high ATAR? Right, Eric?
It's definitely the subject you do the most well in. It doesn't necessarily have to be a high scaling subject. For example, if you're, let's say psychology is a subject that scales down, but let's say you get raw 50 in psychology, that's going to get you a really high ATAR.
Yeah.
But as opposed to, I know people who did math specialists, but they could have only gotten, say, 29 or 30, that will only get to in the low 40s. And in terms of high ATAR, that's wouldn't actually get you far despite the really high scaling. So I would say definitely pick the subjects that you do well in. However, also make sure to distinguish between the subjects you do well in and the subjects that you're good at. Sorry, to distinguish between the subjects that you do well in and distinguish between the subjects that you like. Because like I really like history. It's one of my hobbies. I run a YouTube channel on it, but I know that it's not a subject that I actually do well in because the content that we taught and examined on isn't actually the content that I like. So what I just did is I kept it as a hobby and just put it in my volume 2. So yeah, in terms of subjects, definitely the subjects that you do well in, and also English. Make sure to have a really high English score.
Thank you. I think maybe he or she wants to, maybe he is Melbourne High student, wants to ask like what are the high scaled up subjects? If you mean what the high scaling subjects are, I think they are the languages. For example, Chinese, French, Japanese, and also specialist mathematics.
Latin.
Yes, and language. Do you provide? Does Melbourne High provide Latin?
No, sadly no.
Yeah, I think that's only very few.
But we had one classmate who did Latin in year 11.
Yeah.
He went to Virtual School Victoria.
Yeah,
and he did
that's
Latin
a place
there.
you can go to study Latin. Also, the algorithm, right?
Yes, algorithm.
That one scales up very much. What else? Chemistry, physics.
They don't scale as much as the language subjects and special maths.
Yeah.
But yes.
So technically, if you do English language, Latin, Chinese specialists, maths methods, and then
French, it's the next highest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can.
But don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You'll tie yourself to death.
Yes.
I know you want a high ATAR, but have a life.
Yeah, mental health is also very important for VCE. What's your final ATAR again?
So I got 99.35.
So I got a 99.45. And actually, my original ATAR was 99.4 when I originally received it.
Yeah.
But then I went to BCA because I was suspicious that they marked me incorrectly
For which subject?
for maths methods.
Okay.
And turns out they did.
Oh,
So I had it corrected over. So now it's 0.05 higher.
That's very good. Congratulations. Amanda asked, is uni maths hard compared to spec? And can we study uni maths at year 11? How is the amount of homework? How many hours need to do per week?
Okay,
Tim?
that's a lot of questions.
Yes,
this time.
but yeah.
So first of all, personally, I don't think uni maths is that hard, but it's definitely not a subject that you can take on and just think I'll put in 0F and I'll get high scoring. That's not true. And compared to spec, it is a level higher, especially with linear algebra. It requires some concepts that's definitely outside of high school level. And we can't study in uni maths in year 11 because they require your year 11 scores to determine whether you're able to take uni maths in year 12.
Yeah.
That includes getting a relatively good score in specialist maths, I think. And in terms of the amount of homework, there is they don't tell you how much homework you have to do. The only ones you have to complete are the assignments, but I definitely recommend you to do some practice, do some worksheets they give out to you. And then with exams, there's a lot of pressure to exam because they count towards about 75% of your entire score, and it's a 3-hour exam. So that's going to be a lot of effort put onto that. So,
yeah. Also, is it true that only if you choose specialist maths, you can do uni maths or things like that?
I can't actually remember clearly, but I think because if you only do methods, there's a lot of stuff that you wouldn't understand for uni maths. Like for example, the calculus is built upon special level, and as well as all the matrices and vectors, they all build based upon spec, and they go 1 or 2, or perhaps 2 levels further than the ones we do in spec. So yes.
Oh, just a question. So you've done uni maths, and then you're doing year 2 maths right now. Does it mean you can graduate earlier from?
Yes,
uni?
I can graduate earlier.
Wow.
And so I've already got 25 credit points down. So if I choose to take other subjects during the summer term, which is the summer holidays, or perhaps overload for a few semesters, then I can graduate
in
half a year earlier, or perhaps even 1 year earlier. I can graduate in 2 years.
Wow.
But I don't plan to do so because
have a life.
well, it's not only have a life because uni subjects are pretty hard.
Yeah. Definitely. What's the difference between specialist and methods? Eric?
I think Tim is more entitled to answer this question. He's the expert at maths here.
Okay. Well, I'll go.
Yeah.
I think spec maths goes a little bit beyond methods in terms of, because with methods, it's just you follow all the formulas that you were given, and they don't really teach you the meanings of all these things. And then it's also, there's only a limited amount of content, so we can basically separate it into 3 parts: calculus, functions, and probability. So these were the 3 main fields that you have to study. But if you go up to spec, there's a lot more, including vectors and complex numbers, and these concepts are a little bit harder to understand than the things we study in methods. So I think that'll be the main difference. You have a broader content and harder difficulty as well.
Yeah, and also if you want to do specialist maths, you have to either complete methods unit 1, 2 already, or start spec and methods altogether. So yeah. That's the thing. You cannot only do specialist without doing methods.
Can I make a further comment? So I think to just summarize what Tim said. Basically, in terms of content, specialists adds, I would say, 3 extra main areas of content, which is complex numbers, vectors, and proving.
Okay.
That's the main 3 difference in terms of content. Now, in terms of thinking, you actually need to understand, I think, how all the equations work instead of in methods. All you need to do is, as the name says, you just need to know the method that things work, and you just plug in the equation.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. I think we've answered all the questions. Right. Yeah. We'll still have 3 minutes. So if you have any questions, just okay.
Yeah.
We got one more. How to improve English, guys? Eric, I think
that's
Eric's.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think the way to improve in English mainstream is really to well, I'll go section by section. For text response, if you are in Melbourne, well, I assume you're not in Melbourne High, but for text response, and now it's just only text response, I recommend you to read over the text a lot of times, or if it's a movie, watch over the movie a lot of times, and really pick out the important quotes and important scenes if it's a movie. That's really gonna help you really to have like a memory bank of what notes and what scenes and what their symbolism is. And also, I recommend memorizing not a lot, but just a few very versatile essays that, in the case of a lot of topics, you can just plug in that paragraph or that essay, and you don't have to do a lot of thinking. All you need to do is just practice handwriting speed. In terms of the argument and language analysis, what I would recommend is to actually get more into reading news. And for me, personally, I like to read political news, but you can read other news. You can read, issues regarding social issues or environments. Because in argument and language analysis, you really need to pick up what the author is intending to do, why is he using this language. And if you try to analyze what news, or in my case, what politicians are trying to say, actually really helps with your ability in that specific English section. For creative, I don't really know because that's a part of a new study design.
Yeah.
So, but I wish you best of luck in that.
Yeah. Anything to add on him?
I don't think I have anything else to add.
Well.
Yeah, I think Eric's.
Oh, and also I would recommend to practice writing very quickly. Neat handwriting doesn't actually matter in the final English exam. You just need to write as quickly as possible, but also just keep it just at a barely legible level.
Okay.
I would say more legible if possible than like just barely legible, because English teachers they can get quite stressed to the end when they mark like a lot of, because they do have to mark a lot of papers, and in the end, if they can't read the writing that you're doing, then bad luck, you will get a lower score.
Yeah.
Make sure it's readable.
Yeah, make sure it's readable.
Readable. Yeah. In terms of the English tips, you can also I've interviewed many English tutors and teachers as well, so you can on YouTube channel search QS School VCE. Sorry, is it QS School VCE Center or something? You can find our previous seminars and conversations about how to improve English. Yeah, that's it. I think we're having this one last question. Do you prefer English mainstream or English language? Both of you did mainstream, right? Any thoughts on English language?
Well, English language, we've never really, I have a lot of friends who did it. And from what all they said, it is really different to English mainstream. The advantage for people like us, like ABCs, or people who immigrated to Australia, the advantage is that we start on the same level as all of the, the Australians, the Aussies, if we do English language. So we're at like an even starting ground.
Okay.
And the mindset that they use is also different. It's more of a STEM mindset if they do English language. If we go again, I think definitely I would give English language a go.
Okay.
It also scales up as opposed to English, which scales down. So if you're aiming for scores, I think English language is also a better decision in terms of maximizing your score.
Right.
So yes, so I also did English mainstream, but to be honest, I don't think there's that much difference. Although you're studying different, well, they do have a different mindset and different types of questions given. But I think English in general is something that you have to build up since you were young. and you have to do a lot of reading. This should be it's a habit that you can build up. And English language does scale up, but I know one of my friend who is also not that interested in English, so he also did English language. And then because of scaling, I thought he would do a little bit better than me. But even after scaling, my English score still got higher than him.
I think I know who that
Yeah,
is.
you do know who that is, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
it doesn't really matter that much. I think English mainstream is just more about reading text and then analyzing the text, but like in a more about like the ideas within the text. But if you do English language, it's more about like the technical point of the text.
Thank you. I hope that answers your questions. And Amanda asked, have you done UCAT? Eric did it.
I did
and-
UCAT.
Yeah, and he did really well. So any experience sharing or tips? And that's our final question.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone.
that's a really long story. So I didn't actually plan to do UCAT or just take medicine at all. So, and I had a really good friend in my chemistry class.
Right.
He just did UCAT all the time in chemistry class. He would not shut up about it.
Okay.
And eventually he pressured me into doing UCAT. I didn't really take it that seriously. I only prepared for about 2 weeks, but I somehow actually did really well. I got into the 99th percentile.
Wow.
So after that, I was like, okay, since I did so well, I might as well give the
Medicine
medicine program
go.
a shot. Yeah. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of this UCAT.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it in the end, but UCAT's definitely a very interesting accident that happened in my year 12.
What's the exam like? Do you have to answer? Is it an like written response? Or
No written response.
just
It's all multiple choice.
choice?
Very time limited. You need to be very good at speed reading
Okay.
and speed calculations.
Right. So math and English.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So you have to do UCAT if you want to apply for medicine. And for example, Monash Medicine School, they have ATAR, UCAT, and interview as 33%. You know what I mean?
Although I'm just going to say, I don't think that's actually true. Because I know, well, firstly, I got pretty good in UCAT and ATAR, but because I did not very good in my interview, I'm pretty sure that I did definitely moderately well, but it was still able to drag down my entire score that I didn't get in at all. So I think the interviews actually weighed a lot more than UCAT and ATAR. And just for reference, I have another friend who, yes, he's also a tutor at QS. He didn't do as well in ATAR and UCAT, but he did really well in this interview. It's because he did debating for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, and from that, he was able to make it into his first preference course in medicine at Monash. So I definitely recommend, after doing UCAT, just fully focus on interview. Don't even care about ATAR that much. As long as you make it over 98, not even 9, I think 98, you should be on the same level as those who get 99.95.
Yeah, interview is so important for Monash. And there are some other universities that doesn't require interview at all for medicine, right?
I think for Bond University, it doesn't need an interview.
Yeah, so if you really want to study medicine, do your research of universities outside Victoria, maybe you might have a higher chance.
Yeah, and you could also practice with other universities before applying to Monash. Like for me, I also applied for the University of Adelaide medical program, and I did the interview just to practice. And I actually managed to get in. I received that offer, but I didn't really want to go to Adelaide to do medicine. It was really an unfamiliar environment, and I think it's a lot better if I stayed with my friends and my, and stay with QS, of course, as well in Melbourne.
Yeah, that's very good. So Eric just mentioned the students who did the ATAR and UCAT score lower than him, but already still got into Monash Medicine. And he was also an old QS school student. And all of them studied definitely together, and they were all from Melbourne High. That's why we had this Melbourne High VCE Study Group idea. And it's really nice to see our old students coming back to QS as tutors, and like they want to help more students in QS school. So that is very nice. Okay, one more question. Thank you so much. That's absolutely the last question. Is doing VCE Music 3-4 worth it if you are doing it in year 11 as one of the bottom 2 subjects? I'm expecting 30 to 35. Music?
So none of us actually did music,
No.
but I had a friend. He was the exact same friend that got me into doing UCAS.
Okay.
So he did music in year 11 and he ended up with a 35. And I think it was honestly pretty worth it for him because he ended up with a really high ATAR. He got 99.75.
Wow.
And that, yeah, so you can tell that his music really didn't drag him down. And it also freed him up a spot. So he only did 5 subjects in year 12, of course. And it was also a free 3.5 marks, which still contributed. So I reckon if you don't want that much pressure in year 11 and just want a very solid foundation for all of your subjects in year 12, I would say by all means do VC music.
Yeah. If you are already a very talented musician, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's already 8:08. Thank you everyone for staying with us until now, and we wish you a very good evening. And I hope both Tim and Eric had told you many valuable information. And yeah, I hope everyone can find this session useful. Welcome to join the Melbourne High VCE Study Group, and welcome to, if you want to do any, courses at QS, just welcome. And yeah, next event will be happening next Monday. That's for chemistry SAC preparation with Tim and Eric. Yeah, so thank you so much. We'll say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Leave.